Hello everyone, welcome to the online lecture of Vehicle Testing and Homologation. I am Milan Trivedi, Assistant Professor at LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. Today we are going to continue with our second chapter of VTH, that is Engine Fuel System and the Emission Testing. But the topic which we are going to start today is very interesting and the very basic fundamental of our automobile engineering, that is a dynamometer. We all know that dynamometer is actually involved in the measurement of a brake power, but that is a myth. We actually measure the amount of torque which is present in this particular engine with the help of dynamometer, and from the formula that brake power is equal to 2 pi nt divided by 60, we come out to measure the amount of brake power in the particular engine. So let's begin with the concept of the understanding of this different dynamometers. So when we talk about a dynamometer, it is used to measure the amount of torque. Torque is naturally nothing but it is a force into perpendicular distance. This perpendicular distance we can easily measure it out with some of the ruler or scales or different parameters. What actually we need to have idea is about the force measurement. How much force has been required, that we actually need to figure out, right? So this is a indication of torque which can be easily measured with the help of dynamometer. Now when we talk about a dynamometer, especially in this particular engine testing, we are having the four different types of dynamometer. First one is a Prony brake, second one is a rope brake dynamometer, third one is a hydraulic dynamometer, and the fourth one is a eddy current dynamometer. This all four dynamometers we are going to elaborate in detail. So let us begin with the concept of the first dynamometer, that is a Prony brake dynamometer. What practice which we are going to do in this is, first of all we will understand the construction part, then we will switch over to the working parameter, right? So once we are having a look towards the construction part, we are having this two different wooden blocks which has been indicated with this kind of orange color. In between that two wooden block, we are having this engine shaft. This engine shaft which we actually need to stop would be stopped with the help of this upper arm. Upper wooden block is attached with this upper arm. At the extreme end of the upper arm we are attaching a weight, right? So that is actually acting as a force. That weight and the perpendicular distance from the center of this particular shaft to the particular center axis of the weight, that is a perpendicular distance L, that you actually need to measure with the help of certain ruler, right? So value of L you will be having, and the weight we need to attach, but how much weight is required, that we need to have a look, right? So what the practice which we are doing is, say for examples, this is the punch, how much force is available with this punch, I need to find out. So in this way I can easily find out that how much force is required in order to stop this particular punch, that if this punch is coming out, and how much force is required in order to stop this particular punch. If I figure out that particular thing, then I can easily find out that this much power is available with this particular punch, right? How much force is required to stop, that we actually need to find out in this particular concept. So what we are actually doing is, we are stopping this particular engine shaft. We are stopping this particular engine shaft. How much force is required to stop this particular shaft will give you the indication of how much power which is available with the particular shaft. So in general we will keep on adding the weight. Once we are adding the weight, it will pressurize this particular wooden drum on the engine shaft, right? It will try to stop this particular engine shaft, but we need to reach at that particular stage at which the engine shaft rpm would become 0. So we need to keep on adding the weight. Once we are reach to that particular stage of adding a weight at which the particular shaft speed would become 0, that would be the indicating the value of torque which is available. That value W would be taken, L would be taken, we will multiply both that quantities, then we can get the value of torque. We are keeping that torque value in the formula of brake power, that is 2 pi nt. N you can easily measure with the help of different tachometers, that is indicating the value of speed of the or the rpm value of the engine shaft, that you can figure out, and the torque value you can find out with the help of this Prony brake dynamometer. So once you are having that two value, you can reach to this brake power measurement. The second technique is a rope brake dynamometer. The rope brake dynamometer concept is similar to the above one. We need to stop this particular engine shaft. but for that we are attaching a pulley on that particular engine shaft. Now that can be attached wound with a rope is wound on that. We can have this kind of two different spring balance weight which will try to stop that particular pulley and in general the engine shaft. So at what particular stage that has been stopped, we need to tighten this pulley more. So at what particular value does that particular engine shaft stops, that is required to be measured, right? It can also have this kind of arrangement as well. The bottom portion can be tied and the above one spring can be tightened with the help of lever. That kind of arrangement can also be there. But what measurement setup generally we use is of this appearance. At the bottom portion of the pulley you can attach different weights, and the above end of the rope would be mounted on the particular spring balance weight. So that spring balance weight would be of specific quantity, but still slippage chances would be there. So we need to add more weight on that particular bottom end of the region. We need to keep on adding a weight up till what point, at that particular point at which the engine shaft becomes RPM becomes 0, right? So that W value would be taken. Spring weight would be indicated on the above portion, right? So two values of force which will be having, but that both the forces are acting on the opposite direction. So particular free body diagram, if we take at this particular center point, that the net effective weight would be W minus S, right? So that effective load would be taken, right? Apart from that, we need to have a value of wheel diameter, that is capital W. Then the rope diameter, that has been kept as a small d. Apart from that, the weight of a hanging load, the amount of load you are supplying in order to stop that particular pulley, that is kept as a W. Spring balance weight would be indicated on the top portion, that is kept as a S. So effective load would be W minus S, and the effective radius, that is perpendicular distance, would be capital D plus divided by 2 plus small d divided by 2. Once you are multiplying that both quantities, perpendicular distance and the force acting, you can get the value of torque which is present, right? And from the value of torque you can find out the value of brake power. So that's all about the today's presentation. Thanks for watching.